So today we have our lovely friend Gill Watson, who's come to the larder to show us how to make kedgeree. Now you're going to make a fish version and a veg version, which I'm looking forward to.
With cauliflower, because I like that combination of cauliflower, eggs, curry. It's actually a bit of a classic. So I think cauliflower, it's, what we're in, November. So cauliflowers should be everywhere.
Everywhere, and very cheap at the moment. So good choice. I'm very looking forward to that.
Can we just explain why you're standing there with a bunch of flowers?
Well, aren't they lovely? I've just received these flowers from my friend and colleague Gareth and his colleagues Dave, the two Daves. And this has just come through the post, this lovely bar of chocolate.
What's it congratulating you on?
I've no idea. It's a surprise, I've no idea where it's from.
I think you might be on your fabulous community work and sending out 25,000 million hot kits last week, possibly.
It was a feat. But so this is lovely, so thank you very much.
And this is why we're late filming, because you've just been receiving gifts at the door and I've just been standing here doing nothing. So we do have some of the ingredients. We've got curry powder, a nice mild one, nothing too hot, eggs, salt, oil, rice, so we need fish and vegetables.
Great. And you were just saying about the curry powder, so that could be any curry powder but just not too hot.
Yeah, not a hot fancy one, just a common and garden curry powder mix. We're going to the market, aren't we?
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
Because I'm one of those people who generally goes to the supermarket because I work all day in shop hours, and so I never get to my local shops, to be honest. We don't have a fruit and veg shop where I live anyway. But also I have a little bit of fear because things like buying meat and fish and stuff, I'm absolutely rubbish at quantities. So I never know. You know, I don't know what a pound of mince looks like. I don't know. So for me, it's like a comfort thing, buying a pack.
And the amounts clearly on there, so you can go with the recipe and, you know, in the supermarket, that's the amount.
Even I'm rubbish at going at recipes. Well, I think just knowing what it looks like, I know that pack, and I know if I need one or two. But if I'm at butcher's and he says, right, how many pounds of stewing steak do you want, darling? I go, I haven't got a clue.
I'll tell you something though, because I have the same problem. And if you go to the butcher or the fishmonger or the greengrocer, you could say, and I have done this, I'm cooking for this many people, what do you recommend? And they just magically know. They're brilliant. Right, so shall we go to the market?
Do we need money? Real life money?
We don't. Most of the stalls take cards.
Okay. So that's the other thing I always worry about, because I never have cash like the Queen.
Well, come on. I'll show you Preston Market. You're going to love it.
Back on.
So heavy. So we're back from the market. How did you like it?
It was great. But I mean, that's a pretty special market, Preston Market, isn't it? I have to say. But
it is.
I could not believe the variety of stuff. It was all amazing. Anyway, so that's what we'll start with. So we've got everything now. Beautiful cauliflower, which we're going to use for the vegetarian version. Onion, garlic, parsley going in both. Eggs, lovely local butter, and the rice. Equipment, chopping board knife, spatula. Pan to boil the eggs. Pan to poach the haddock. This is just for rinsing my rice. That's for cooking my rice. So that means I'm 1 pan short. Oh, and another pan for actually making the kedgeree.
So, rice is, a lot of people struggle with cooking with rice. Are you going to give us a lesson in rice cooking?
I'm the rice queen. But today will probably all go wrong for the first time ever, and I'll make terrible rice. Pass me the rice, would you? Because it's 2 metres distant away.
I won't show everybody, this is actually from Tesco, so we'll put that to the bag.
We could have got rice, couldn't we? On the market.
Can I tell you what we do have very quickly? Just opposite the market, there's a shop which sells things in big containers. So the dry stuff, so we can take your own, it's fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah, we love it.
Perfect. Right, so I know Kay was going to ask me how much rice, and I never measure anything, but I'm going to be good and try and measure this with a big cup. So what do you reckon? That's 1.
So that's
2
not
cups, I reckon.
per person, is it?
No. I think you're a family of 4, possibly more.
Right.
Basmati rice. I always use basmati for everything because I just think it's easier. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse this. In cold water. Alright, so that's the rice rinsed a bit. Pan with a lid for the rice.
Would you like me to put the kettle on for you?
Oh yes,
Okay.
I think I filled it. Little bit of oil to cover the bottom.
So just enough at the bottom, right?
This on.
Yes, that's on number 5, so it's not too hot.
Right. And then let that heat for a minute.
I need to get my flowers and my
Get your
chocolates
flowers
out
in
of the way,
water.
don't I?
And then when it's hot, which you can tell because it's going thin, basically, at the bottom of the pan, shut the rice in. And then I stir it about and give it a few minutes until it's kind of dry.
And you're kind of coating it all in oil then, aren't you?
I'm coating it in oil.
Yeah.
And I'm getting some heat through it before the water goes in.
And is that going to stop it sticking together?
Yeah.
Right.
But there's another trick as well to stop it sticking together. So you can hear that it's now catching on the bottom. So take that off. Loosen it up. Oh, threw it all over the floor. And a bit of salt. Not too much salt because the smoked fish is going to be quite salty as well. And then we're boiling this for the fish, but for the rice, I don't bother using it.
Okay,
So
right.
I just fill it from the hot tap and come over here, Mr. Cameraman, because I want to show just how little water I'm putting in. So I'm really just covering it, and then that goes back on the hob. Scrape those grains in. Lid on. And we're going to bring that to the boil, and then I'll show you what to do when it's boiling.
So you've got the rice on.
Rice is on, we're waiting for that to come to the boil.
Okay.
Kettle's boiled
Yes.
for the fish. So
Right.
put boiling water in the big white pan. I'll do. Pop in the beautiful.
That is a nice colour, isn't it?
I know, it's gorgeous, isn't it? And then, get in, get in. It's trying to swim away. Right, so bring that to the boil and then give it a couple of minutes. We also need to get the eggs on, don't we? Boiling eggs.
How many eggs would you like?
4?
4? Yeah.
Because I like to chop some eggs in as well as put some eggs on top.
So you have, is that just one per person then? Normally. Yeah.
Let's put another in. Should we put another
Yeah,
in?
we might. In fact, one's just broken in there, so.
So we'll be needing a spare.
We will. Right.
Right, get that on there. Which one's that?
So the back
That
one
one?
is that one, yeah.
Right, so that's that. So we can get chopping. If you want to chop up the onion,
Yeah.
quite small,
Quite small. Okay.
and 1 clove of garlic, and I will start.
So this is
on-
quite a big onion. So if you have, you would normally maybe have
Yeah,
2
same.
medium ones.
or maybe 3. I do. This is gorgeous. This is 59p, this cauliflower. Now, I did notice you pay a lot more. You can pay £2 for a cauliflower in the supermarket, and I've never known why they're so expensive. Especially as I've been out in the fields rescuing cauliflowers that just get dug back into the ground if they're not the right size.
Well, Fresh and Fruity, where we bought these cauliflowers from, buy really locally, and these are from Mere Brow, from Peter Ashcroft at Mere
Oh, yeah.
Brow. So they're grown, and they were probably picked only a couple of days ago, so they'll be really nice and fresh.
Rice.
Oh, so what's happening with the rice? What do we need to do now? What's the next?
Right, so
Oh, look.
it's come to the boil. Obviously it's not cooked, but it's come to the boil, and now I'm going to add some more water into it.
Right.
So I think the mistake lots of people make is that they measure out the water, and it always ends up being too much. So again, I'm just about covering it. We'll bring it to the boil again, and then turn it right down.
So what next?
Right, you're chopping up the onion.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a lump of butter in here because this is what I'm going to be making our Kedgeree in. This Kedgeree, I believe, has to be quite heavy on the butter because you want that lovely, luscious,
Rich.
yeah, rich, and it gives it the moisture. It adds some moisture to it. Some people put cream in. I don't like putting cream in Kedgeree. I prefer it with butter.
People have it for breakfast, don't they?
Yeah.
Kedgeree.
I could eat it any time of day. So putting a lump of butter in there to cook this down. And I'm just going to chop up some butter because we are going to put little cubes of cold butter through it when it's ready. I might not use them all.
So with the cauliflower, you're chopping it up quite small then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that wrong?
No, I think that's a good thing.
I take every question as criticism. You realise that, don't you? It's like, what am I doing wrong? I'll just stop and do something else.
So why? Yeah.
There's also a hell of a lot of cauliflower here, isn't there? I don't think
There
we're going
is,
to need
yeah.
all that.
Right.
The rice. So I can feel, even though it's dry now, a little bit stuck to the bottom, I can feel that there's still a little bit of hardness in the grain there, just a little bit. But this will now be the last bit of water that we add.
Okay.
So I'm basically just going to wet it now. Right, so that's the last, I basically just wet it now. Very little bit. So that's that.
It smells nice, that, doesn't it?
So bring that to the boil, and then I'm going to turn it off. So you noticed all those things like don't stir your rice and make sure your lid's on really tight and that, and don't bother with any of that.
No.
My
You've
lid's-
broken all the rules, basically.
In fact, my
haven't you?
lid's from another pan. I can never find the right lid.
I used, when I made soup yesterday, I didn't have a lid, so I had to use that frying pan as a lid, and it worked perfectly.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now my fish, it never came to the boil.
Oh, I should have told you that ring doesn't work very well.
That might have been an idea. Anyway, it never came to the boil, but it's nicely poached. Just give it a little push. And if it's coming apart, then it's ready, isn't
And
it?
I think some
And it's
people
good.
make the mistake of overcooking fish,
Yeah.
don't they? And it's nice when it's just got a
borrow
little
that
bit.
plate. Eggs are going crazy. Any idea when we put those
I
in?
have no idea. Let's
Get them off. Should we get them
Shall
off?
we get them off? So I don't think the eggs were on long enough because when I started to peel them, they were still soft. So we've just put those back on for another, probably about 4 or 5 minutes. I think 10 minutes is about right, isn't it, for boiled eggs?
Probably. We don't know when we put them on, do we?
We were busy talking.
Right, but I think the rice is ready. So that's absorbed now. So I'm going to give it a final turn. And then I'm going to turn it off, leave the lid on because there's still a little bit of bite in it. Take it off that scary heat. I'm just going to leave it, and then if when I go back in 5 minutes it's still got too much of a bite to it, then we can add a little bit more water. Right, okay, what are we doing next? We can start frying off, can't we?
Okay, so do you want me to add
Yeah, you chuck your
onions
onions
in?
Ooh, that's a fancy garlic.
It is, but the garlic is so big that it's
Doesn't
too,
work.
too fat. Isn't it?
Right, so we need this quite low now. I've
Okay.
actually turned it off because it was, oh no, I haven't, I've turned the
That's
wrong one off. So we don't want to get too much colour in the onions and the garlic, we just want them to get soft and golden, but not browned. We don't want any of that malarkey going on. And then we need to also start frying up the cauliflower. I love fried cauliflower. I love it. I've never roasted the whole cauliflower. Have you done that? That's quite a trendy thing, isn't
I
it?
did one the other day that a friend had done, and it was with cumin and coriander, and oh, it's lovely, really nice.
What was that, a whole one?
A whole one, yeah.
I wonder how long that takes. Can you imagine
It took,
that?
well, what I did, I steamed it a little bit first for about 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then it probably took about, I'd say about half an hour in the oven.
Okay.
But it's really good. Yeah.
What about then?
I've no idea again, but I think we should be all right. Do you think? Shall we go for it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. In fact, what I'll do is pop that on there. Yeah.
It's like a game of chess, this, isn't it?
So you've got your onions nice and soft there.
I've added more butter.
Oh,
I've
good.
put some more butter in now.
Oh, lovely. That looks nice. And then you've got your cauliflower
Yeah.
in here, that's cooked. And then your rice looks
Rice.
lovely and fluffy.
We're going to slice some of them, and then the really messy ones. Ooh, they're perfect.
Yeah, they are.
If only we could tell our viewers exactly how long they were cooked for.
I put half the onions in there.
Yeah, and then we can put some rice in there. We can sort of
Okay.
get this one together, can't we?
Does that need to go back in the heat?
I've got enough onions in there for the fish. Yeah, probably enough. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll put about half the rice in here.
Do you think?
Is that about right?
Yeah, I think that looks about right, doesn't it? And then we've got to... Now, we didn't put much salt in this because we were using it for the flake fish as well, salty fish. So let's put some... Ooh, that's a bit sizzly, isn't it? I think we put the curry powder in first,
Okay.
and then we can see after that.
There you go.
What do you reckon? So we just want to colour it up, basically, don't we?
Such a lovely colour that, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Throw some parsley in.
I don't think that's going to get home to your grandchildren. I think
No, it's true.
you'll be
It's true.
eating it before you can get out of here. Right.
Right, so sort of half of that. Can I have a bit of the yellow bits?
Yep.
Just chop it up a bit. Beautiful. Right, grab yourself a spoon, have a little taste, and then tell me if it needs any salt. Cauliflower and eggs, great combination.
Yeah, I would add a little bit of salt to
Don't you
that.
salt? And of course we're putting salted butter in as well, so right, let's whack some butter in. Not all of it. One more. And
Yeah.
then, so it's all warm now, and we just want to mix that into sort of making emulsion in it.
And have you made this with other vegetables?
No, have you?
No.
I've only
I was-
made it about 3
I
times
was just
in my life.
thinking you could use, at different times of the year, Like in the summer, maybe add courgettes in there.
Yeah, courgettes would be good. I think mushrooms would be good as well.
Yeah.
But I do love the cauliflower and egg mix. I think that's a delicious combination. Parsley. There we are, a little bit more of that on top. Beautiful. I've lost the middle of my egg. Right, fish.
So you've done the cauliflower one, and now you're going to assemble the
That's done.
fish kedgeree.
So let's shut this together. It smells really garlicky, that.
We need it at this time of year, though.
Yeah, keep the bugs away. Am I putting all this in? What do you think? I don't think I am actually, because I think there's not.
We'll use that rice for something else.
Pop it in your soup. There we go. So throw the fish in. Healthy.
Nice. Yeah.
Healthy meal.
Until you add all the butter.
Oh, there's nothing unhealthy about butter, is there? Is there?
I love it.
Curry.
So how much is that? That's probably about a tablespoon then, isn't it, that you're putting in there?
I still don't know what a tablespoon is.
It's, yeah.
Still
It looked like it was probably a level tablespoon in there.
And tad more butter. What do you reckon? Get off.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I'll
No,
take
got
that.
it.
That's,
Do you want me to taste that again to see if it needs any salt or anything?
yeah, you can.
Maybe just a little tiny bit. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Okay.
How many did we say it should feed? 4. Right.
What would you have this? Would you
About
have
20,
this?
isn't it? Between the two of them.
Yay!
What?
What would you have this with? Would you have it on its own, or would you?
I'd
serve
have it with
something?
a nice glass of Pinot Grigio, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. What, for breakfast?
Yeah, you're right. I don't know, would you need anything more?
No, I don't think so. I think that's not
Kedgeree is a
anything.
meal in itself,
Yeah.
really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What more do you need other than a glass of wine?
And would you like to chop some more parsley? Oh, you put the parsley in.
It's all in.
Yeah,
We're
it's
done.
in there.
We're done.
Wow. Well done. That's
Kedgeree.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to trying the finished product now. There you go. Have a look.
Thank you.
What are you looking for?
I was looking for a plate, not just being posh.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really good, isn't it?